Hey everyone! It's been a while since I've made a video, but it's certainly about time, don't you think? I guess it's just with the semester coming to a close, but certainly picking up speed in the amount of things that I've had to do has really made me think about motivation and where work ethic really comes into play while trying to find balance in my life. Since I was young, I think I've always found myself surrounded by and attracted to people with incredible work ethics. They work really hard, they always find time to get their work done, they make it a priority in their lives, and I have too. But lately, and as I've gotten older, I've realized more and more how it's sometimes more important to take time for yourself or to balance working really hard and working too hard. And I've definitely been struggling with and sort of improving on that recently. The tricky part of this to me seems like, okay, I'm gonna work super, super hard, I'm gonna get everything done, and you get great results, but then you're exhausted. Or you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna work so hard, I'm gonna take time for myself, life's too short, and then you get nothing done. And so how do you find a balance between the two extremes of driving yourself insane, but still working hard enough that you're proud of and pleased with the work that you have put in? There are a few things for me that have really helped with this, and the first one is staying ahead of my work. Getting things done ahead of time helps me to not feel so stressed out by the amount of work that I have to do, and it makes it seem much more reasonable so that I can stay motivated to get my work done while also doing the other fun things in my life. The second is constantly asking myself, what would happen if you didn't do this? Or what would happen if you didn't do this now? If the answer is, it would never get done, then maybe I will consider getting it done now. If the answer is, you know what, you'll just be able to do it tomorrow or the next day, why don't you go do that fun thing, then I might consider doing it. And that's not like a foolproof plan. It's not always like, oh, I could always do this later, I'll just go do it later. But really checking in and thinking like, is it holding me back from living my life to the fullest extent that I want to? Or is it enabling me to get further with my self-development and progression? So there's motivation to get it done so that I can learn, so that I can get good grades to end up getting a job later. In the hierarchy of life, where does it fall? And so, then there's the question of like, okay, so what's more important, my GPA or my sanity? And believe it or not, I've struggled with this question for a long time, and I'm getting better and better at knowing what that right answer is, but it's been hard because I think when everything in society tells you you have to go to school so that you can get good grades, so that you can get a job, so that you can make money and not be homeless, and so that you can actually enjoy your life, then when you're in the spot where you have to do all of the hard work, you're like, I will be able to enjoy my life later. I can enjoy it later. I just have to get this done now. And sometimes you miss out on some of the wonderful, joyful, awesome things that are happening right now. And that too can be a double-edged sword, because if you have FOMO, or fear of missing out, then you find yourself constantly jumping upon those opportunities to be part of the excitement and not necessarily taking care of yourself, not necessarily doing the things that you do have to do, just because you're afraid that if you miss it, you'll be missing out on life. So finding that balance between taking the opportunities that are really meaningful and being okay with stepping back sometimes and being like, you know what, guys, I'll catch up with you later. I really, need to stay in tonight, and things like that. So I don't know about you, but it doesn't really seem like I'm reaching a conclusion. I'm kind of saying on one hand, you should really work hard and get good grades and do all the things that you need to do because, yes, working hard does get you far, and it's an important part of the society that we live in. And then on the other hand, going out and living life and having fun and not worrying so much about all the work you have to do and doing things that you want to do. So what do you do? I wish I had an answer. I wish I could succinctly say, this is what you should do all the time, 100% of the time, and it will help. Because the truth of the matter is that it's situational. And I think, talking about being conscious, we have to constantly check in with ourselves and make prioritizing decisions of, okay, in this moment, do I need to get this work done? And sometimes the answer is yes, because you get it done now, then you'll have time later to do things. But if you're super stressed out and you're studying, 5 hours a day or more, and your brain is tired and you can't do anymore, and you say, I have to keep going, then maybe that's not the healthiest decision, because you're actually hurting yourself. You're remembering less. You're able to function at a lower capacity because you're overdoing it. And in those moments, yeah, you should go hang out with friends, treat yourself to a nice meal, go for a walk, things like that, to find that balance. One more thing that can really help with motivation is taking the things that you don't necessarily want to do but need to get done and connecting them to something that you're actually passionate about. Finding some way to see a lesson that's worthwhile in your life from doing this activity, or somehow making it seem worthwhile intrinsically, so then you're motivated to do it and it's not so awful when you have to. Throughout this process, I've sort of had some moments of being like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. And then this little voice in my brain is like, no, you have to keep going. You have to keep doing this. What are you doing, Jenna? You're becoming a slacker. And it's kind of tricky too to grapple with those fighting feelings. But throughout, that struggle, I've realized that the more that I say, you know what, I'm gonna do my best. As the work comes, I will get it done. I'll get done what I need to do, and I'll also do fun things. And I'll try my best, and whatever the outcome is the outcome. I felt a lot better. And here's a tricky thing. The outcome hasn't necessarily been better. Sometimes my grades are a little bit lower. Sometimes I don't have all the time to do all the things that I want to do. But overall, how I feel inside is so much better, because I'm not so worried about being perfect all the time, but rather trying my best and letting life just flow where it goes. It comes down to a matter of whether we're going to try to control life, let life control us, or just let it be, which is so much harder to do than it is to say. But that's really where I've come to is, things fluctuate, things go up and down. Some days it's easy and some days it's hard, but I just keep trying my best, and I hope that you can too, and be okay with that, whatever that level is. So thanks. I hope my inner musings give you some insight. And of course, as always, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them. I'm always open for new ideas and perspectives. So have a great day. I'll see you next time.